Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to give you a quick revision of what I have covered till now. So for the people who haven't saw the previous videos, so it will be very useful and it will be a very useful video to understand, to revise all the concepts, all the basic things that we have discussed till now. So now without any delay, let's see. So the first day, so we started with what is Python. So and like what are the features of Python and what is language. So why this Python is called as a programming language. What is the difference between language and programming language? So it's basically language is a medium for communication. In the same way I'm communicating with you in English, in the same way I want to communicate with this computer. For that we need some languages. So that languages are nothing but these programming languages. So there are so many programming languages out there, but we are going to discuss about Python in this series. Now, what is compiler and why we need this? So in the simple thing, like now the computer will not understand any human readable language or human understandable language because it understand only binary language, that is zeros and ones. Only it understand machine code. So now in order to make it understand, what we need to do, for that we have compiler and interpreter. So there are some programming languages which uses compiler for their translation of code, and Python uses interpreter. So the difference between this compiler and interpreter is the compiler will read the entire code at once, then it will throw the errors. If there are any errors, compile time errors, it will give compile time errors, or else if there are any runtime errors, it will give runtime errors. So this is how compiler works. But interpreter is not like that. It will read line by line, and immediately at the line where it will get the error, so it will display that error and it will stop the execution of the program there. So this is how this compiler and interpreter works. So now there are a couple of different types of languages. That is, one is a low level machine level language. As I said, the computer only understand low level, that is machine level languages, is all zeros and ones. It will not understand any human readable languages. The human understandable languages will not be understandable by this machine computer. Now, what is high level language? So high level language is nothing but it's a simple language, and with this language humans will really easily understand. They can easily read that code and everything, so they can do this easily. So this is what we have discussed in a day one. So it's all the fundamentals that are necessary for one to start with his tech career, to understand what is the exactly happening in the programming in this IT sector. You should know all these first day fundamentals. Why language, why we need this, all these things are must and should. So whenever you start learning some new languages, either you will use a compiler or a interpreter, and the final motive of using that language will be some developing some softwares, and it will be in a high level language and they will be converted into machine level language. So and what is this language is nothing but just a communication medium. So all these fundamental things, I hope you got an idea. So now in the day two, what we have discussed. So in a day two, we have discussed now how to write this code. So I have told you about programming languages, and if someone wants to code, then how can I do that? For that, we will be having some beautiful code editors. Actually, simple code editor you can take. A Notepad is also a editor, so where you can write some code, and whenever you are saving that file, you can use dot py extension, and you can still use some commands to run that program. But for people who are starting with basics, I mean, who are starting with Python, so you just install this VS Code. So VS Code is a one popular code editor where most of them uses. So this VS Code is actually powered by Microsoft. So use VS Code. I have shown you the how to download VS Code and how to install Python. So I have made a video in a day too. So if you want to download, so you should download that, or else you will not understand anything, because everything will be done practically. So we need to do most of the things practically. For that, we need to have this VS Code. Or else if you have any code editor already, like Jupyter Notebook, it's fine. Now we discussed about what is coding. So the coding is nothing but the way. So it's a way of writing that code. So I know Python or else I know Java. So I need to write that code in this VS Code platform. So I will write this code and I will execute this. So the process is nothing but coding. So whatever you write, like just you will take a book, you will use one pen and you will write something. So you may write stories, you may write some. So it's something like a book is like a code editor, and the whatever you write, so that is something we call as code. So this process is called as coding. So we do write code, that is coding. So okay, so in simple words I wrote here, but to understand this, so whatever you type in a VS Code editor, that is nothing but coding. Now, why we need this? See, this is a question, so you should know. So you should always ask this, why we need this programming language, or what is the need? So how they are working. So simple thing is, guys, there are so many softwares, there are so many applications in a day-to-day life we are using. So it can be any application. Each application is being developed by this programming language by doing code. So there are so many software developers. You might have heard so many software engineers out there. So every software engineer, I don't say everybody will write code, but there are domains again. But still, the people who learn Python, Java, so when the software developers actually develop softwares or the applications, whatever you're using, it might be phone pay, it might be Google Pay, it might be Chrome, it might be YouTube, everything, every application has their own developers who are working very hard to make sure it's running properly and you are getting it's a good output from it, a good use from it. So this is what this coding helps. This is how this coding helps in the real world. When somebody asks you what software developers do, just say, see, whatever the applications you are seeing, entire like that Android system. So Android also has some code. That code is also being written by these developers. So everything is code, everything is software. For that, we need to have some programming languages. So for this, we need to have this programming knowledge. Now, how we will do that? The simple thing, he will have some platforms for each different programming languages. You will have different code editors, or else you can have a simple VS Code editor which supports all kind of programming languages. Further, just you need to install some. If you are using some Java, you need to install Java binary. If you are using Python, you need to install Python binaries, and you need to set up that and then set up that environment. Then you need to start code. So this is how it works. I have shown you in the second video, in the installation video. You just go check it out. Now, so this command I have given sudo apt install python 3 for the people who are working with Linux. If you want to install Python, so just use this command. So it will help you to get all the dependencies, libraries of Python, and then you can start coding. Now, after that, in a day three, I just tried to explain about the history of. I just tried to say the things about the history of Python. So, who is the founder? That's a Guido van Rossum, and why he found this language. Again, he was working in some CWO, that is Centrum Mission and Informatica project, as well as he was in with the project called ABC. It's a powerful beginner-friendly language, which means now most of them use Python, so or else they will start with Python because it's a easy syntax. We can easily learn the Python programming language. In the same way, CBC was also very powerful and it was beginner friendly. But so he wanted to make it more readable and he wanted to make it more easier syntax than ABC. So that he worked very hard and then he kept this. He developed this, implemented this Python programming language. Now, why it is called as Python? So people might think Python is a snake, so it's a variant of snake. So, but actually, it's not that. So that Guido van Rossum is a fan of this Monty Python's Flying Circus. So that's why he chose the name Python and somehow he named it. And initial version was released online in 1991 and the first version was launched with all the functions, exception handling, all these features were included in this version. The actual version, the main, so most all the users were able to access this Python 2.0, which is introduced in 1994. From that, so there is no looking back. So you guys might see so many features in Python. So from that point of time, they were keep on working on it. They keep on implementing it. Now also there are different versions. So every time updates will happen. So based on that, we'll get some new features. And Python have a very good way that is, I mean, so the Python is developed by C. So most of the Python is developed by C, that is called as C Python. And there is some part of code of Python which is developed by Java, that is called JPython, and the code which is developed by C Hash, that is called as Iron Python, and Python which is developed by Python, that is PyPython. And this is one thing, something like, so you have a one time you will different, you will talk different languages. In the same way, this is the language is Python, but it can still do this in the way environments like this C, Java, and C Hash. It can work very well, and we can use this. Now, after this history of this, so I made a video on syntax. This is a basic thing everyone must understand. So if you understand the syntax, this is a very fundamental thing, because see, so whenever you write code, you should follow the syntax. If you miss something, so you will get errors and you will not be able to complete the code. You will not be able to solve the problem. So basic thing, you need to understand the Python syntax. Before that, you need to know what is syntax. The syntax is nothing but the set of rules that you have to do something, to write something, to code something. So it's a rule. So there will be a rule accord. You need to follow that rule. If you are not following that rule, then the things will not be good. So in the same way, if you in public while you are driving, you should wear the helmet. If you don't wear the helmet, if any accident happens, there are a lot of unwanted loss. Okay, people might die. It's a rule, so we should follow. If we follow that rule, it is good for us. But in the same case, Python also, you should follow the Python syntax. If you don't follow this Python syntax, then it's very difficult for you guys to do lot of software development. So this is a basic syntax, that is print hello world. This is for just a single line of code. So this is actually to output something. The you can see here. So for everything. So if you work with the Python programs, I will give you the syntax for some mean functions. I will give you syntax for class. I will give you syntax for variables. Everything I have explained. So I will show. So this is a basic syntax to print something. So here print is a method, so you should have parentheses after writing any method. You can have user defined methods also. Print is actually inbuilt method, and it should have parentheses at the end of the method. Either it's a user defined or predefined, whatever method it is, we need to have this parenthesis at the end of this method name, or else you will get an error. And these double quotes and single quotes are used for to denote strings. After that, day 5 I started with the variables and data types, which are very much important, and I have explained clearly why we need variables and what are these variables, how these variables will work while when we write some programs. So this is about variables. So again, I talked about data types. I made two videos, and day 5 and day 6. Go through those videos. So in simple, if I want to say, data types are the thing where the type of data what we are assigning to these variables. So what is variables, how to declare them, so what is the syntax, everything I have given. See, you can see pocket, money. So I have a clean how explained to, you can easily understand that, go through that. And the types are nothing but, so what are these, and there are types of data types. So that is integer, float, boolean, string, and collection data types. So what are those, how they work, everything I have explained you. And in the day 6 I have continued the same, that variables and data types. So in detail I try to, here I have given you the syntax for variable declaration and initialization. You have to give a variable name, and you have to just use an assignment operator and value. So I need to make another video. I will make it, my next video will be on operators. So please make sure that you are watching that. So all these, you need to watch all the videos in this series, so that you will become very much good in Python. So not only watching, I expect you to practice a lot, at least minimum 30 minutes. If you practice every day, you will become a beautiful Python developer. Okay, so here syntax I have given and numeric data types I have explained. So here int float complex comes under numeric data types, and this is how we will initialize, and in detail I have explained in that video. And then we have this text string and OSTR, so all these things. So again, in collection, we have list, set, tuple. In mapping data types, we have why it is called as mapping data type, why they are called as collection data types, why it is called as list, set, what are everything I have explained you. And actually, I will make another. Okay, I need to make a different video for each of these collections and types of data types and for strings, because they are huge. They are very much important, and most of the developing cases we use these data types a lot. And in the day 7, I have explained what is input and output functions, how they work, and how we can use this input and output functions in our program, how they are helpful, how this input function helps programmers to get the user input, and based on the user input, the program should run. So this is how the input function works. Everything I have explained you in that video. So please go through these all 7 videos, and this is just a revision video. And if you understood all the things in this video itself, I'm very happy. If you still didn't understood, please go through the previous videos of this series, so that it will be very helpful to you. So with this, I will end this video here, and I hope you enjoyed this video, you liked this video, you understood something, you got something out of this video. So in that case, if you really like this video, please do like my video, and share this with your friends who are looking for, who wanted to start learning Python, and who want to understand it easily. So please share to them, and don't forget to subscribe. Please do subscribe, so that it helps me to make more videos, and I will also will be more motivated. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you for your patience and perseverance, and for your consistency, more important. And yeah, see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Tada, bye bye.